about your first impressions of this Broncos defense? Obviously, we saw what they did to the Jets this weekend.
Yeah, obviously one of the most talented defenses in the league. They have a lot of guys up front that create havoc, and they play really well on the back end as well. And I think their coordinator puts them in great positions to make plays. So for us up front, we just got to trust our technique. It's a tough environment to play in, so communication is going to be important. Winning early downs to avoid some of those third and long situations, that's our mindset.
As an offensive lineman, do you kind of get excited to face another? Obviously, you faced a great pass rush with these Giants, but do you kind of get excited to see another strong pass rush to kind of, not test yourself, but just to challenge you, trying to slow them down a little bit?
Of course. Speaking for myself, I know I'm a true competitor, and the rest of the guys in the room as well, and we want to play against the best. And right now, I think the Broncos have the most sacks, the most pressure, so they're one of the most talented groups up front. So we're definitely excited for the challenge.
Thank you.
Yep.
Patty Traina.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I have a couple for you. Just sticking with the Broncos defense for a moment. Unless something changes, I believe you're probably going to see Nick Bonitto, who lines up often against the left tackle. I don't know how far you've gotten into studying his game, but what makes him so difficult of a defender to kind of, keep at bay?
Yeah, I would say first his explosiveness. He does a really good job of getting off the ball. He has good bend at the top of the rush, but a lot of speed guys, normally they don't have great power, but what makes him unique is he can power rush as well. So you have to be ready for both.
And then for you personally, I mean, you've been back now, I think, something like 3 games. Do you feel like you are, quote unquote, all the way back? I mean, your numbers, I don't think you've given up a sack. I think your pressures have been very low this year. Or do you feel like there's still more that you have to do to get all the way back?
Yeah, as a perfectionist, I'm always trying to get better. Regardless of what stats may say, there's things in the first 2 games that I played that I want to clean up, and I'm going to do that to put my team in a good position.
Anything in particular you still want to clean up?
Yeah, some of my run fits, my pad level, my hands and pass pro, and then just finishing plays.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Andrew.
How you doing?
Hey, good. After missing the time that you did, coming off a serious injury, are you a little surprised or pleasantly surprised that you hit the ground running? You played limited in the first game and every snap since, and that your production and performance has been so high?
I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I followed the plan that the trainers and the staff had for me. I think it worked. I played a lot of ball, so I wasn't unsure of how I would respond. I would say the thing I was most worried about was just being in shape. I think that's the hardest thing to get back, and I definitely felt that the first game, playing all the snaps versus the Chargers. But I think I responded pretty well to that, and like I said, still things I'm trying to get better at.
And do you know the best teams? And you've been around for a while. The best teams you kind of know week to week. This is what they are, right? They run the ball, or they throw the ball, or they whatever they are. The best teams, they don't always win, but you know what they are. Do you know what this Giants team is yet?
I think we're still building our identity. Obviously, we have a young quarterback playing, and I think he's done a good job for us. But this is just the beginning part of the season. I think your identity by consistent play, what you do consistently, that's who you are. So we're just trying to focus on doing the things necessary to win consistently, especially up front.
Is unpredictability difficult for a player? You have a rookie back there who can be unpredictable. Is that good, or is that, you kind of don't know where he is all the time, or is that you got to roll with it?
I mean, he's a football player, and what we talk about up front is just block to the whistle. He can make a play at any time. Obviously, we don't always know where he is, but we're trying to strain through the echo of the whistle and allow him to make plays.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Ryan Dunleavy.
Andrew, thanks for doing this, man.
Yep.
I'm curious what you thought of the receiver play you guys got. Obviously, without Malik and Darius, you've been here a long time. You know that, when guys get down, everybody says, next man up, but it doesn't always happen. And you had guys like Wandale made a huge play, like a wide receiver 1 type play, and then Little Jordan came up with some big plays. What did you think of the way those guys stepped up?
I think they did a great job. I think first, coming into an environment. It's a big time game, big time moment, and they embraced it. But I want to speak more to the effort as well. Like if you watch some of the plays just blocking downfield that we had on the perimeter, like those guys, they bought in. Obviously, the game plan was to run the ball and be dominant up front, but those guys, they bought into it and then made plays when their name was called, and that's what you need to be good in this league. You're going to have injuries. People want to go down. So, like you said, next man up mentality.
You're not a big pat yourself on the back guy, but I'm about to ask you to do it. Like, do you feel like they always say like the best players in sports like make other guys better? Do you feel like, yeah, obviously you've been really your numbers are really good since you've come back, but the Giants offensive line is also really good since you've come back, and like I'm gonna assume that's not a coincidence. Do you take pride in the idea that like your returning has also made the 4 other guys next to you better?
I think the beautiful thing about offensive line is it's a unit. It doesn't matter how well one person is playing. It's about all 5, and I think the cohesiveness, like obviously I missed a lot of time last year and missed training camp, but for us to get on the same page as quick as we did speaks a lot to those guys. And like I said, things that we still want to clean up, but I've been impressed by how we played.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yep.
We'll take 2 more. Jordan Renan.
What's up, Andrew? What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm curious. The vibe around the team, at least outside the building, is significantly different. It just seems different and seems to have more life, right? I'm curious. You've been there a while. What's it like internally, and how different is it from any other point maybe that you've been there?
I can't lie. It feels great to get a primetime win, but the reality is that that's just one game. If we lost that game, it would be the same mentality moving forward. Is we got to win the next one, and that's the juice that's around the building. Obviously, we have confidence that's building, but you have to go out there and prove it each week. So last week is over. We're on to Denver, a really good opponent. So we're just trying to prepare ourselves for that.
And how much does a young quarterback change the feel of the team? I mean, you obviously have a rookie quarterback. He's in there. He uses his legs a lot. He puts his head down. Like, how much does that, as a whole, change the feel of the team from your perspective?
Yeah, I think Jackson's done a great job. He put strain on the defense, like you talked about, with his legs, playmaking ability. But I think he's done a good job of just understanding the play calls. Like, this offense is not easy to learn. He's done a good job with that. Just being vocal in the meetings, talking to the receivers, trying to get everyone on the same page. I think that's what I've been most impressed by.
Last one, Art Stapleton.
Hey, Drew.
How you doing?
I'm sure, throughout your career, there hasn't been a game that you haven't stepped on the field saying, you know what, we're going to go out and dominate tonight. That's the mentality. That's what you want up front, you individually, you collectively. I know you want to look ahead, but what does it mean Thursday to be able to now turn on the film, watch whatever you watch in that game, and know that you accomplished the mission for one game, that you went out and dominated a team that essentially has made a living of that for the last 5, 6, 7 years, especially against you guys?
Yeah, the beauty of our division, normally the teams that, make it to the playoffs or win that division, they dominate the line of scrimmage. And for us to do that, it felt pretty good. A lot of work, has been put into that. But like I said, we got to continue that. It's not just 1 week. We have to be consistent with that and, respond when we don't play as well.
How does that manifest itself? I mean, is it just as simple as production, or do you guys feel it as a unit as the game is going on? When you're dominating the way you thought you were going to, is it one of those, do you pinch yourselves and say, man, we got to keep this going? I mean, we got to ride the momentum here. How does it kind of manifest itself in a game scenario?
I think we've always had the mentality to do that. I don't think we ever have a lack of effort on this team, but I think it just comes down to execution. Beating the guy across from you, and you're playing with the right technique, you're being physical, and the effort that I talked about. When all 3 of those come together, then you get those results.